What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Heel Turn podcast. Because remember, when you are heel turn for
life.
life. And I am one of your hosts, the reigning, defending, undisputed prediction heavyweight champion of the world. That's right, it's Seth. And joining me, as always, is my wrestling
The
partner in
real
crime.
host of the damn show. The real host of the show. The person whose whole idea this was. The reason we are back. Me. You done stroking your ego there?
Do you have a name?
No.
You just said me.
Yeah, just me. Because I'm him.
I'm him.
I'm him.
Are you using pronouns?
Yes, he, him. I am he, I am him.
Okay.
We're going to get canceled for that one.
That's okay. All right, everybody. This is JC. Thank you for joining us, JC. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you guys appreciate it.
Yeah. So, interesting week in wrestling. We've got some really cool things that we want to talk to you guys about. We're looking forward to it. We hope you guys have enjoyed the past two episodes. We're really enjoying this. We're really getting into the groove, talking about things, throwing out outlandish ideas, crazy predictions, spoilers, all kinds of nonsense, things that we think that are going to happen, things that we wish that are going to happen. One of the things, just jumping right into it, obviously the hot topic of the week is Ricochet. Gave notice to WWE. He is not planning on renewing his contract. His contract ends sometime in July. And it's interesting because of what happened Monday night. I feel like they basically just wrote him off of TV and you will never see him again because, well, he already lost the speed title to Andrade. So obviously everybody has a gut feeling where he's going to wind up going. Now, I've got to ask you, my good friend, the $64,000 question. Do you think it's a smart move?
I think he stays with WWE, to be honest with you.
You really think he's going to stay? I think he already gave his notice that he's leaving.
Yeah, and how many times did MJF on TV live say he was going to be the bidding war of 2024? And he had re-signed already with AEW. I think this is just WWE's version of a work to finally get this man over. And I think he's with WWE. Too many things lead to it. So getting taken out by Braun the way he did. Listen, no one's gonna take that hit and stay down like that. The way they showed Samantha running to the back to be there for him. I don't know, man. This has a storyline written all over it. So I think he stays. Now, if he decides to jump ship, I don't think it's a smart move. I mean, more power to him if he decides to bet on himself. I'm a huge Ricochet fan, Prince Puma fan. So if he decides to bet on himself, I know he'll be able to make it anywhere. But if he decides to go to the what is it called? All empty arena wrestling.
All empty arena wrestling.
Yeah, all empty arena wrestling.
All empty.
He's gonna be all empty wrestling. He's gonna be the flavor of the month for a while. He'll main event against Swerve or whoever's champ at the time, and then he'll end up on Dark next to Miro in the buffet tables. So,
okay.
I mean, and that's just not a notch on him. That's Tony and not knowing how to write stories.
Right. So I agree with everything for the most part, except for re-signing with WWE. I think he's done with WWE. I think he feels that he could do better elsewhere. And listen, if he feels that way, more power to him.
Look at Cody and Matt, what they've been able to do.
Yep. I feel that him leaving WWE is a silly move. I feel that going to AEW, like you said, he'll be the flavor of the month, and after that, he'll get totally lost in the fold. They might throw a mid-card title on him over in AEW just for the sake of doing it just to keep him happy, but I don't really see that guy having main event matches with Swerve or Will Ospreay or MJF.
Granted, I
Even
would love
maybe.
to see a Ricochet Osprey match. I mean, they
Well,
did
they
in
did
Indies and it
have
was
in the Indies,
incredible.
yeah,
It was
yeah, they did it
incredible.
in the Indies,
So I would love to
but
see it for a title. But yeah, he shows up. They'll probably do it right off the back, because
yeah,
that's
they'll
how
build
Tony
no.
is.
See, and
Dream
that's the thing;
match,
they'll build no
no
story
build
for
up.
it.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah, no
just
build, no
drop it
nothing.
in there, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Whoever, they're not gonna take the belt off Osprey, so Osprey's gonna walk away with the belt, and then Ricochet. Not to disservice to him. I know how good he is, but just the way AEW writes and the way AEW does things, he's just gonna get lost in the shuffle,
Yeah,
or
he's
he'll
going
end
to
up
be another
under
guy.
the learning tree.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's where I was going to go. He's going to end up under the learning tree. So oh, by the way, Jericho, if you listen, which I doubt you do, way to steal Brian Myers' gimmick, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Cool.
Exactly. Kurt Hawkins,
Cool.
your favorite.
Oh, and 300? Nah.
Yeah, 300. So,
Nah.
So very, very interesting.
Le Champion doesn't steal from anybody.
It was an interesting way to write him off of TV. Obviously, to just have Braun just like plow right through him.
Absolute beast.
So speaking of Braun, I want to just jump onto something real fast. I actually sent you something in Instagram. I don't know if you saw it. I sent it to you a couple of minutes ago. It was very interesting. This gentleman did a reel about how to predict how to have Brock Lesnar come back. And it had to do with Braun Breaker. And basically what it was suggesting is that Braun basically just continues to destroy everybody in the locker room because, until he gets thrown into like some kind of match and maybe he wants to get thrown into Money in the Bank. Well, he winds up losing Money in the Bank. And because he lost Money in the Bank and another opportunity at a title shot, he gets even more pissed and just starts plowing through everybody else in the roster until the point of Adam Pearce gets upset and says, listen, the only way to stop you is to finally have someone put you in your place. And you're going to fight somebody
go one with the Undertaker. I mean, sorry.
Yeah. So what the suggestion is that Pearce has a match for him at SummerSlam against the opponent of Pierce's choosing. And then that's when Brock enters. And then he has a run with Brock. Now, Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker, if done right, that could be a hell of a match, and that could be a hell of a story to at least pull it out for a couple of months to get you through, maybe to the Rumble or Survivor Series or something.
If you get Brock to wrestle Braun the way that he wrestled Kurt Angle back in the day, that'd be a fun feud to watch.
Now that side quest is over, on to the next topic of conversation. On Tuesday night, they came out and Cody Rhodes came out and Trick was already in the ring, and they announced that to find the number one contender for Trick Williams, there would be a 25-man over the top battle royal. Now, obviously, I don't feel that they've got.
Yeah, NXT does not have 25 guys.
25 guys. So they're going to have to pull some people in. And this leads to speculation about the partnership currently going on between WWE and TNA. We've already gotten Jordan Grace. Now, who could we get from the men's side? Now, I like most people, or I couldn't say most people, but I like myself. I like to read the dirt sheets and the rumor mills and things like that just to stay current if anything's interesting. And a few names have been drummed up. One being Matt Hardy, which would be interesting. The other one, which I'm extremely excited about, but I'm also going to have a feeling that this person also might show up at Clash at the Castle, Mr. Joe Hendry. Which Jan,
for those of you that aren't watching on YouTube and listening on as the podcast, I just rolled my eyes all the way into the back of my head when he said Joe Hendry. I saw the back of my skull.
So I'm going to throw this out there right now. I am a believer in Joe Hendry. Jan has been a Joe Hendry hater since day one. So
I have nothing against Joe Henry. It's just he's a Bo Dallas wannabe.
No, he's not.
Do you believe in Joe Henry? Then you better have
believe
in Bo Dallas.
But I don't believe.
You want to talk about stealing gimmicks, sir? That's a stolen
Jesus.
gimmick. That's worse than the Ricochet.
I have a feeling that that he'll show up either at the Battle Royal or Clash of the Castle. And then after that, I'm kind of at like a loss of who else I think that they could bring in for that. Like, I mean, I'm sure you might
walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Any of the X Division guys, I'd be awesome to watch. If Prince Puma signs with TNA, Prince Puma coming back to NXT would break the internet. What?
I don't think so.
It's because you suck.
I don't think so.
It's because you suck. It's because you have no vision.
Yeah.
That's why you watch AEW. You have no vision. That's why you like
Nice.
That's why you like Bo Henry. I mean,
Joe
Henry or whatever.
Nice.
Joe Dallas. Whatever his name is.
Joe Dallas. You're just gonna put Joe in every state in front of him. Like Joe Montana. I like Joe Montana.
Well, it's because Bo Henry, so Bo Dallas, yeah. Joe Henry, Joe Dallas.
But yeah, I don't know who else. I mean, they already showed. They did that little segment backstage, which was great with Cody, Sean Spears, Ethan Page, and Lexis King, where all four, he was like, "Oh, you guys are in a much better place now."
You guys are in a much better place. I was like, "Oh, what a dig! What a dig! What a dig!" I actually like that.
So, yeah, that was good. So actually, we know all three of them are going to be in there. There's probably going to be a bunch of other NXT guys in there, but again, I don't think
there'll be a couple of Raw and SmackDown guys too. There'll be a couple of Raw and SmackDown guys that maybe one from each show. What's his face? Apollo Crews will probably show up, make a showing.
Like former NXT, like former NXT guys.
Yeah. What's the guy who used to tag with Sheldon Benjamin in the Hurt Lock?
Oh, Cedric Alexander.
Cedric Alexander probably show up. A bunch of old NXT guys that we haven't heard from in forever that are probably on the main roster. We just don't know it. We'll probably make a showing, but we'll definitely get. There's not 25 guys. You're not going to bring both of the main rosters down for an NXT pay-per-view, so you have to get guys from TNA. Jordan Grace might show up. Why the hell not? She beat Matt for the Digital Media Championship.
So, that's true. That's true. We were there for that. We were there. We were there for that.
And she could probably bench half of that NXT locker room. So why not?
So it is definitely going to be interesting. Now, who do you think out of that pool possibly wins that?
So it depends.
Ethan Page Ethan Page just had a title match, so I don't think he's gonna win it.
It's not. It's definitely gonna be Lexis King, and it's not gonna be Sean Spears. Let's be real. Those three guys, it's not gonna show up. So it's gonna have to be someone not expected. If they want to go the safe route, it'll be one of the main roster guys that go down. To build up NXT, right? Like they've done with Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler in the past, and those guys that they've gone back, they've carried NXT for a little bit until they put over the next champ. Now, if the rumor mill is that WWE and TNA are at a good ratio, they want to do co-branded. Would that be a pay-per-view or premium event?
PLEs.
Co-branded PLEs.
Yeah, they don't use paper. They don't use the word pay-per-view anymore.
I know WWE doesn't, but I'm not sure about TNA. Yeah. So, but a co-branded event. I think you have one of the TNA guys clean house in the 25-man battle royal, and I honestly, without putting Moose in that match because he's already a champ, I think Josh Alexander comes in and just clears out the field and faces Trick. And again, that puts me in another bind because I would love to see Josh Alexander win because I am a huge fan of the Walking Weapon. That guy's phenomenal. Guy is phenomenal in the ring.
Absolutely. He's the Canadian Kurt Angle.
Yeah, that guy is phenomenal in the ring. After seeing and if you haven't seen that man live like we have, if you've seen that man live, TV does not do that man justice. That man is a freak in that ring. He is Perk Angle, Canadian version.
Perk Angle.
And like Perk Angle, like Angle at his best.
Angle where he's all hopped up on drugs in TNA, six-sided octagon, six-sided ring. Kurt Angle.
Yeah, when he'd rip off the things just with the mouthpiece and the ball. Yeah. That's
that
guy is amazing. Huge fan. Alexander, if you're watching, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Yeah, it would be cool to see him. And you mentioned Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. That's someone that
he's gonna show up. He'll probably.
That's someone that could show up because think about it. At the at NXT, you had Ash by Elegance, aka Dana Brooke, show up. So I mean, it is possible we could get a Nick Nemeth sighting, which would be cool. Now, here's the thing: does he come out to his TNA music, or does he come back out to his Dolph Ziggler music?
So he's not Dolph Ziggler. He's Nick Nemeth. So he would probably come out to Nick Nemeth. Or knowing what we know about Mr. Nemeth and his love for flair and being out there. He'd probably do that combination of the two songs where it'll show up, I'm here to show the world. And then it just scratches and cuts out and his new song hits and he comes out.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
That's what I do.
Oh, if you want to get a pop from the audience, that's what you do.
Yeah. So that's probably what I do.
I would like to say that maybe we could get a Matt sighting too, but he's still healing from his torn tricep, I think.
Mm-hmm. Why is it your chest? Tricep back here,
straight here. Tricep.
That would not. It's not your tricep. Your tricep is the back of your arm. This would be your bicep.
Wherever you got it.
Chest, rotator cuff, bicep, tricep, sir.
The meat. Wherever the meat is.
Trapezius.
Wherever the meat
trapezius
is.
muscle. See, you don't have these. See, trapezius muscles.
Yeah, it's a dorsal appendage.
Dorsal.
It'll be
dorsal. I heard you like some dolphins.
So definitely be interesting to see. Definitely be interesting to see what happens and what transpires with that whole 25-man battle royal. Either way, whoever wins, hopefully it's someone good. That way, Trick can have a good match or a good, maybe they might make a story out of it and have this go on for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it has to. It has to.
Who knows?
It has to. They can't. So they can't have it as to where it just ends in the next pay-per-view or PLE. It has to. It has to
carry over. Yeah, it's
because Trick needs someone right now that's going to carry a feud for him.
Right, because he has no one, and then the last thing you want to do is just do a match to match basis, which at that point that's
better than AEW.
Better than AEW at that point.
You
with
need
storytelling
and
everything.
Yeah, you need good stories.
So that's where we're kind of at with that right now. So again, it'll be interesting to see what happens Tuesday night. Now, rolling over into the next topic of conversation, we have Clash of the Castle this Saturday, and I'm definitely going to throw out some outlandish predictions, but let's go, match by match and see what we got going on. So the first match on the docket to talk about is, where is it? It is the Women's Tag Team Championship match, where it's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill against Alba Fry, Isla Dawn, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. So we're going to basically have a triple threat women's tag match. I think this is the match where Shayna and Zoe win, and we get either the Bianca Belair or the Jade Cargill heel turn.
It's too early for that.
Think it's too? You think it's too early for that?
Too early for that. That they have. So what WWE has with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill is the chance to create the most legendary female tag team ever. Ever. It's way too early to break them up. Way too early. You can tease it a little bit here and there, but it is way too early to break them up. And what I know about Triple H and his love for tag teams, look at how long they teased the Austin Theory and Grayson Waller breakup. They still haven't done it. They still haven't pulled the trigger, but every single week they tease it. They can do something like that, but right now they can't break up Jade and Bianca.
So hear the thought process for this, okay? One of the two turn on each other, whoever it is, right? Mm-hmm. Now you've got July, and now you've got August, and you're heading into SummerSlam. What bigger match to have at SummerSlam than Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair?
I get it. It's a big match, but you're going to ruin the tag team. It's way too soon. You have rumors of both Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar returning at SummerSlam. So which one of those you're going to outshadow a great match like that with two returns? And fourth and biggest issue with that plan is who's going to be the Marty Jannetty? Are you going to sacrifice Bianca to push Jade? Or are you going to sacrifice Jade so Bianca gets another spot? It makes no sense to do it this early. Zero sense.
So here's the thing. If it were to be done, we've already seen Jade as a heel in AEW. So we really haven't seen her other in WWE as kind of like a face. And I think Bianca Belair has kind of hit her face stride where it's time to switch it up with her and do a little bit of a heel turn. So I would say I would go Bianca Belair heel and then keep Jade face.
Yeah, but so that's who's going to be the Marty Jannetty? Who's going to be the loser of these two? Who is going to be sacrificed?
I don't think there is any loser.
Every time you bring a tag team up, one of them is Marty Jannetty. There's never been a history of a tag team that they break up and one doesn't flounder. Ever. I don't care if they've both been outstanding superstars. Every time a tag team is broken up, find me a tag team.
DIY. Champion Gargano. They both went on to head. They
both went on to be mid-carders at best.
No, they were both NXT. They were both NXT champions.
NXT does not count. NXT is developmental. NXT is developmental. NXT is developmental. They're trying different things to see. NXT is throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. That doesn't count. Name me an actual tag team on a main roster in any company that they've broken up and
Hall and Nash.
You're gonna tell me that Hall and Nash didn't break up and Scott Hall was not the Marty Jannetty of that group? Hall never held the heavyweight title. Hall never held a belt after the Intercontinental title.
Why does it have to be about holding a title? They were both successful.
Because that's what causes success. You can't be successful if you're not a champion. You can't. Championship means more money, and the more championship, the more pay-per-views you show up at, so it makes more money. Without a belt, without a championship, you're not successful, dude. Ask anyone. Cody just spent the last 3 years trying to finish a story about a belt. 3 years.
And he's more popular than he's ever been, even that he didn't even have the belt.
But he claimed it at the end. Look at anyone that's in the Hall of Fame. They've held some kind of championship. Maybe not the main roster, maybe not the main belt.
Okay. What about the Shield?
What do you mean the Shield? The Shield was a faction, not a tag team. Shield was a faction, not a tag team.
Because they were tag team champions.
Shield was so are the New Day. Doesn't mean shit. The Shield is a faction. I'm talking about tag teams. Two guys that are equal, and then they break up, and one always flounders. Always. And if you want to be real, Dean Ambrose floundered like a motherfucker. Had the most boring heavyweight championship run of the three. Left to AEW, and he's going. This is how much he floundered after the Shield broke up, that he's going cutting himself with pizza cutters against Eddie Kingston in AEW. Okay? Not only did he flounder, he drowned. Drowned. He drowned. It's over.
He's dead. He's never coming back.
Back. He changed his name and left the company. Okay. And what he does is crazy because I'm not doing all that deathmatch shit. But you want to talk about flounder? Dean Ambrose. Straight to the butt. He met the people that were the submarine that blew up next to the Titanic. He floundered so bad he met them. Okay. Again, you can never find me a tag team that they've broken up and one hasn't gone on to have a shit career.
I'm thinking. You got me thinking. I'm trying to think.
It's called the Marty Jannetty. Every time you break up a tag team, one of them is the Marty Jannetty. Every single time. There has not been a tag team. Maybe eventually, after years and years, the person got some kind of recognition and, Zack Rydered it out and won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania just to lose it the very next night. Because that, look at Ryder and Hawkins. Look at every single tag team in history. Every single tag team in history. When they've broken up, there's been a Marty Jannetty. The only one you can maybe think of is the Hardys. That because they both had pretty successful careers.
Yeah, they've both Edge and Christian.
Christian had to leave the TNA. He had to go become captain. He had to go to TNA to become Captain Charisma. He had to be a big fish in a little pond. Okay.
Yeah, and he came back to WWE and he won the World Heavyweight Championship
for a day, and then Randy Orton.
No, he didn't.
He lost the belt the very next day to Randy Orton. He wins it again, loses it to Del Rio.
He still.
Dude, I know you're
successful. He still was successful.
But how long did it take after they broke up? Like 20 years.
It doesn't make a difference.
Did you not hear what I said? That eventually, if you put enough time in the business, you're gonna succeed. Hopefully, but it took 10 years, 12 years for him to do anything other than be lower mid card, and he had to leave the company to do it.
All right. How about Kane and Undertaker?
Kane had a shit career next to the Undertaker compared to the Undertaker. Kane had a great career. But his only heavyweight championship lasted 24 hours.
No matter who I say, you're gonna find something wrong with whoever I say.
So Kane had an amazing career. He did. You can't take that away from Kane. Kane had an amazing career. But out of the two, who would you prefer being, Undertaker or Kane?
I mean, that's a no-brainer, but still.
Then shut your fucking mouth. Okay? Shut your fucking mouth. It's that Kane had a great career. Undertaker had a better one.
All right. How about the Mega Powers?
Listen, right? Macho Man had to fuck Stephanie McMahon, allegedly, and then
with everyone I say.
Okay. Again, because dude, you're saying so here's the thing. You're saying that they had great careers. I'm not arguing that they had great careers. I'm saying one had a much better career than the other. You're gonna tell me that Macho had the exact same career as Hulk Hogan?
Oh well, no, but
then shut your fucking mouth. Again,
but he was still successful. He was just as successful as Hogan.
But he again had to leave companies, switch companies, go to be an announcer, come back to WCW, join the NWO.
Here. What about?
All right, so let me get this. Wait. Was Macho not already a superstar before he tag teamed with Hulk Hogan?
Well, absolutely.
Okay, then. This again, that doesn't work because he was already a superstar. I'm talking about guys that started as tag teams.
Okay.
They came up together, and then they break up.
Here's one for you. You ready? The Dingo Warriors.
Who the fuck are the Dingo Warriors?
It was Sting. It was Sting and the Ultimate Warrior.
Dude, honestly, never heard of that tag team. I knew who the guys are. Never heard of that tag team. Now, did both of them have successful careers? Yes. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with their careers. But who had the better career? Who was a superstar their entire careers? And who had to flounder? But no. Surfer Sting was garbage. It wasn't until Crow Sting came out that he had any kind of resurgence in his career. Yes, Surfer Sting won the WCW championship from Ric Flair, but that was Eric Bischoff's bullshit. In any other promotion, Surfer Sting would have never been anything higher than upper mid-carder. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. Upper mid Carter. He was actually, let's be 100% honest. Sting was never that great. Sting had an amazing gimmick and a great story versus the NWO. And here, you hear it here live, guys. Sting was never that great. Sting was never that great. Sting was overrated as hell. He copied Bret Hart's finisher in the sharpshooter.
The Scorpion Deathlock.
The fucking sharpshooter. Okay. And then what was the other stupid thing that the reverse DDT shit that he did? Or the Stinger Splash? Overrated.
No, the Stinger, yeah.
The Stinger Splash when he run up to the corner and jump up.
All right.
Overrated.
I'll give you. All right. So I'll
Sting
give you
overrated.
one. So I'll give you one that makes perfect sense to what your argument is. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
The APA.
100%. 100%.
Bradshaw.
Talk about
Bradshaw went on to have a great career. Meantime, where did Faruko?
Damn. Did he not have a good career? Yes, he's still on WWE television making money. Saying one word. Great career. One had obviously a much better career. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe this is just a WWE thing. Because you're right. You did point a couple of tag teams from WCW that both guys had similar successes, even though one had way more. Ultimate Warrior had way more success than Sting in a much shorter career. But that was a steroid era, and Ultimate Warrior is juiced to the gills. that dude dragged Trent in the morning, ate a Tremboloni sandwich for lunch, and then had another Trent shake for that dude was juiced up to the gills. Okay, but that was that era. Sting, thankfully, and as far as I know, Sting never did roids because he always looked pretty natural. But yeah, I guess it's a WWE thing. But no WWE team in history has ever broken up, and both guys had similar careers. Like I said, eventually down the road, if you put enough time in, WWE would, they would throw you a bone. But you can tell, you look at the careers, and two guys had way different careers.
Hold on, I'll throw one at you. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Yeah, they both had shit careers. After, I mean, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn is a perfect example. They broke up, and they should have stayed as a tag team. Those you want to talk about prototypical tag team wrestlers? Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. I love the New Age Outlaws, one of my favorite teams of all time. But when they broke up, Road Dogg really didn't do much. And Billy Gunn,
Billy found Chuck after trying to be the one.
Yeah,
after trying to be the one.
The one Billy Gunn. Jesus
Billy
Christ.
Gunn.
You just unlocked the whole memory there for me. The one Billy Gunn. But then, he found Chuck and Vito.
And
Rico.
Rico.
Oh my God. So yeah. And now he found the Acclaim. I mean, Billy Gunn has a type for his tag teams. Okay. There's a system in place when he picks tag teams. Raunchy and naughty as fuck. So who had the better career? Definitely Billy Gunn. But
absolutely. Yeah, Billy Gunn's still wrestling.
And he's in the best shape of his life. That dude is jacked. And he gets to wrestle with his kids, which is freaking awesome. I can just imagine what like Thanksgiving at their household is like, just talking smack. Those guys, that's a great stuff to do. But both guys may have success, but there's always one guy that has way less success than the other. Every tag team in history that's ever happened, at least for WWE.
All right. Well, that was a good deviation from what we were talking, but now we got to get back to it.
Unless you're New Age Outlaws or Brian Kendrick and Paula. Then.
I'm gonna go with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark taking it home this time.
Staying with the powerhouses.
All right. Next on the docket, I think this one's a no-brainer for us. Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. This is going to be a great match. There's probably going to be a lot of elements involved, probably some outside interference.
Try match of the night, honestly.
I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out and say that I think Gable pulls it out this time and Gable wins.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think I think Sammy's doing great with the belt. I think he's fun, but I think it's Chad Gable's moment.
Yeah, Yeah, I think it's time that they, because again, he's another one whose contract is allegedly up shortly. So I think if they let Gable win, I think that means that Gable re-signed a deal. If Gable loses, then I think Gable's got some thinking to do, or he's already made his decision that he's out the door. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, definitely going to see some interference from from Otis and Tozawa. Now here's the thing. Otis, I think, is going to play a key in this because, again, it's either going to go two ways. Either Gable's going to win via Otis or Sammy's going to win because then we're finally going to get Otis turning on Gable.
Chad. So I think that's what. Go ahead.
Now I know where you're going to go with this, and I think now that we're talking about this, I might change it. And Sammy's and I'm going to change my decision. I think Sammy's going to retain because Otis is going to interfere somehow and help Sammy. And then I think that's when Gable now disbands the Alpha Academy, and then we see the introduction of Gable with the Creed brothers possibly.
So here's my take to it. So I think they're setting up the Otis turn as a contingency plan. And here's where I'm going with this. So if Otis turns on Chad, it's because Chad Gable did not resign, and they're going to have Sammy go over that way without ruining Chad Gable and all that stuff.
Keeping him strong.
Just because he's super hot, so I understand it.
Yeah.
Now, if Chad did resign, I see one of two things happening: the Creed brothers interfering and taking out Otis and taking out Sammy, or Otis doing a heel turn.
But here's the thing, though: it's kind of hard to do a heel turn when technically,
just turn on Sammy. Eventually, you realize that Otis is right, that Chad's right. You've been weak. You've been held back because of trying to be nice, trying to be the nice guy, and you're worm and playing to the crowd, and you get tired of it, and you turn on Sammy, you turn on the crowd, and you join Otis for real.
So here's the problem.
He's just a contingency. It's a 50-50 on Otis, depending if or not.
So here's the problem with that last bit of logic you just gave out.
Nothing. It's flawless.
Well, no, because if he does turn heel and Gable wins the IC belt, then what do you do with Otis at that point? What does Otis go after? What does Otis do?
You mean you what did Nash do when he used to protect Shawn Michaels? Nothing. You have him be your bodyguard. You have a 300-pound bodyguard. You're a heel champion, and you use your heel 300-pound bodyguard to make sure you stay champion. Kind of crap is this?
I mean, I get what I get what you're saying, but
that's his Diesel, bro. That's his Diesel. That's Otis Diesel right there.
It's Otis Diesel.
Yeah, that's Otis Diesel. And while you're at it, give him the speed championship.
Oh my God!
Sit on Andrade. The fight's over.
Oh my God! Is that Kevin Nash? LOL. I thought he was dead.
Yeah, that's Otis Diesel right there, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So you're picking Sami Zayn. I'm
gonna go with. All right. So I'm gonna go Sammy. You're going Chad. Piper Niven versus Bayley. Now this. So Piper is fighting in front of her home crowd. Obviously, I think they're going to do to her what they did last year to Drew and Roman. So Bayley's going to wind up winning, but Piper will have her moment in front of the home crowd. But ultimately, Bayley's going to wind up winning.
Yeah, I think Chelsea inadvertently cost Piper the match. She gets involved at the wrong moment, distracts Piper, and that's how Bayley picks up the win. Keep them both strong.
Okay, fair enough. I doctor, I concur. All right. So moving on, we've got the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, I Quit match. Obviously, the President of the United States is not dropping that championship to AJ. It would, and again, it's too soon.
Would I be okay with it? 100%. But
I mean, absolutely. But it's too soon to see Cody drop a belt. I mean, he's only defended it less than a handful of times already. So I mean,
he's defended it like 20 times already. House shows count.
Yeah.
But here's my thing though. So house shows count. But here's my thing though. So rumors are saying that upper management is not too happy with Cody. Ratings are not where they're supposed to be. You know, all this stuff, they're blaming it on Cody. Just like, you know, the heavyweight champion always gets blamed for crap.
Yeah.
So what better swerve than to have AJ win in front of one of the biggest crowds? The Clash of the Castle gets big and they're loud and they're rowdy. Have AJ win, and then you have Cody go after the chase. Some people are just better chasing the belt. Randy Orton was way better chasing the belt than he was as champion. And he's my favorite superstar of all time. You know, I feel the same thing as Stone Cold. Stone Cold made a much better story chasing after the belt than actually being champion. Some guys are just better chasing the belt. So if you have AJ win because the club comes in and cost Cody the match, have Cody chase AJ up to SummerSlam again. You know, so I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Cody wins, but that would set up a good story, I think, and give AJ one more run with the belt before he calls it quits.
Right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that logic, but yeah, I think Cody's gonna wind up. Cody's gonna wind up retaining.
I think my storytelling is too high level for WWE.
All right, now this is the one that I think the most stuff is going to happen, and I think this one has the potential to be match of the night. This is Drew versus Damian Priest.
Drew wins.
Yeah. I mean,
you cannot screw that man twice in Scotland.
No,
like if Drew does not win, that crowd will riot.
So basically, this is what I feel. Damian Priest was obviously a placeholder for this moment. I'm calling him a placeholder, and I'm going to explain why.
Because Drew versus CM Punk.
No. I'm totally going in a totally different direction than that. So because of CM, well, part of it was CM Punk, so I shouldn't say that. So part of CM Punk not being healthy, you know, that's why they kind of put it on Damian, because they felt Drew versus Punk would be a much bigger thing. But also in the meantime, now you also ran into that issue where Drew was hurt. And the other side of the thing too is that Drew didn't have a new contract yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to say, you know, at that point they put it on Priest to protect it, because again, Drew didn't sign. And Seth
he's done a great job with that belt, man.
And Seth needed to go away because Seth needed to get his knee fixed. So
Seth was wrestling on a broken body, man.
Yeah. So that was the case there. But now that Drew's healed and Punk is, I would like to say, from all the social media posts and everything, I think that Punk's pretty much almost 100% safe to say they're going to put the belt on Drew now, and they're going to start that storyline with Punk and Drew, and then that'll hopefully get them through to a certain point where at WrestleMania we'll get the Seth versus Punk match that we were supposed to get at this past year's Mania. Now, Drew and Punk have had some great exchanges. No question. The promos between them have been fantastic. I'm looking forward to more of those promos. I think Damian loses. I think this is the beginning of the end for the Judgment Day. I think the Judgment Day is slowly imploding. You know, we've got, you know, the whole thing now with Liv and Dom. You know, I don't know if anybody caught this with the whole thing on Monday night with the key card. Finn Balor was the one who took the key card for the hotel room.
Remember,
so
Finn Balor and Liv Morgan have been working together against the Judgment Day this entire time.
So again, who's to say what's going to happen with that? But the whole thing with the Judgment Day is basically going to come crashing down.
Did you catch that?
What?
When AJ Styles and Finn Balor were feuding against the Judgment Day, who did they get to face Rhea? Liv.
Oh yeah.
I think, and then Finn joined the Judgment Day. What if Finn joined the Judgment Day to storm from the inside, and Liv is coming in to storm from the outside, taking them from both sides?
You would like that, wouldn't you?
Oh my! Again, high level thinking here, but you want to talk about long-term storytelling? What if the whole thing Finn joined the Judgment Day to storm from the inside, and now with Rhea out, he hired Liv again to come in, like they've been working together. Now they're going to attack from both sides.
Yeah,
after everything Judgment Day put them through.
That's a very well thought out plan if that does happen. I mean, and then again,
that's probably not what's going on.
That goes to what we always say. It's storytelling at its finest.
Yep.
But yeah, I think now as far as the way of the match playing out, I don't know if Punk will be there to get involved at some point. I
don't think so. I think they're going to give Drew his moment.
Now there's been rumblings. There's been rumblings about this too. A gentleman I mentioned earlier, Joe Hendry, and the only reason I mentioned Joe Hendry is because Joe Hendry is from Scotland himself. He's from Scotland himself, and again, that's another good way to. I mean, I was just throwing that out there just as a possibility. I mean, again, I obviously think the Judgment Day is
What is up with you and the Joe Hendry train, dude? Like,
I'm not a Joe Hendry train.
You are on the Joe Hendry train.
I've been a Joe Hendry supporter since we first saw him.
That's what I'm saying. What the hell? Like, what did you see in this guy? He's like, damn, I want to support him.
I think he's a decent mid-level wrestler. I like the promos and the vignettes that he does. You got to admit, the song is just fucking catchy as hell.
It would have been if you just shut the fuck up and stop singing it to me all the time.
I believe in Jan Torres.
Thank God I didn't hear that clap.
So, yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Back to the topic.
So obviously the Judgment Day is going to be involved somehow. Now, here's the thing. Now, if you really want to get creative, who's to say the Judgment Day doesn't turn on Damian Priest, and then now Drew McIntyre is the new leader of the Judgment Day?
Actually, that was teased a while back.
Yeah,
when Drew had hired the Judgment Day for help, or vice versa. But yeah, that could happen. That's totally a possibility, and I'd be down for that. I'd be 100% down for that. That'd be pretty cool. And then
at least you got a storyline for
at least he carries a sword, which would match with the Judgment Day gimmick. The clouded guys with the swords.
Yeah.
He's the one that carries a sword.
Interesting. It's an interesting thought. So I'm going with Drew. I know you're gonna go with Drew as well.
So what matches did we disagree on?
So the only match. Well, no, we disagreed on two matches. We disagreed on Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, and we disagreed
on the triple threat tag team.
On the triple threat. So
okay. So those are the two matches. Those are the matches that are going to be the tiebreakers.
Yeah. So, but definitely interesting to see what happened. It's going to be a great weekend of wrestling as usual. I believe Forbidden Door is Sunday.
No one cares.
I don't even really know what matches are going on, and honestly, I'm not even really a big fan of that pay-per-view, just because I myself,
it's a bunch of AEW guys versus a bunch of anime characters.
No. But I'm not very well versed at the moment in New Japan, so
or anything Japanese.
Yeah. So I mean, it's cool that they do, that companies do cross promotion stuff, but
You got to
it's
give
always
us
so hard. It's always so hard because you don't want to you don't want to see champion versus champion, because then you got to figure out, okay, who's going to lose, how are they going to lose, how do you make
that's
it
easy.
equal to where
That,
everybody wins. It's
that's easy if
difficult
you're
to do
Tony.
that.
That's easy if you're Tony Khan. 60-minute match, time limit draw. Isn't that how he's done it every single time?
Just about, almost.
Time limit draw, 30-minute match, time limit draw.
Yeah.
That's his go-to. People used to say that Vince used to do the interference and the roll-up pin a lot, and he did. But that time limit match, those things ending time limit draws, that's Tony's bread and butter right there, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to keep both guys looking strong. Time limit draw. As soon as you hear a match, this match has a 30-minute. I'm like, oh, it's ending in a draw. Goodbye.
Yeah. This match has a 60-minute time limit. Yeah.
There's only one match I want to see 60-minute time limit. That's Chad Gable versus the Walking Weapon in a 60-minute Iron Man match. That's what I want to see.
Okay. Chad Gable versus Josh Alexander
in a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Who's the other guy we were talking about? Or was it Josh Alexander?
It was Josh Alexander and Chad Gable.
No, I'm trying to think of another wrestler.
I mean, if we get Perk Angle in his prime.
Oh my god.
Triple threat Iron Man match.
Triple threat Percocet match. Percocet on a ladder.
Perk on a pole match.
Perk on a pole match.
Jesus Christ. Hey, I wonder if when Rhea comes back, if they're gonna have a Dom on a pole match.
Rhea custody of Dom. Yeah, the custody of Dom. Yeah,
custody of Dom ladder match.
That's gonna be funny. Yeah. Well, at that point, so here's the thing: if they ever have that match where it's Rhea versus Liv, which obviously it's gonna happen,
Liv has to wear a Rey Mysterio outfit, and Rhea has to wear Eddie Guerrero's clothes.
No, I think what's going to happen is that whoever wins, Dominic is the loser, because what's going to happen is that they're both going to break up with Dominic, because Dominic's going to be so conflicted on who to help.
Listen, at this point, Dom has gotten so many W's, he can't get in hell anymore. God.
Listen, he was definitely the winner of Monday Night Raw.
That's a Hall of Fame career, sir. Dom has had a Hall of Fame career.
So me and you had this discussion off air. Between the two, I still think Alexa Bliss sitting on Randy Orton still wins the night.
I would agree with you, but Dom didn't almost get killed by his wife when Liv did it. Kim saw Randy get pinned like that, and she immediately went on Twitter and said, "The fuck." So
you don't think Rhea is gonna kick Dominic's ass for that?
No.
I gotta stay kayfabe, man. Can't break kayfabe.
No. She's gonna kill Liv. That's her pop. That's her poppy. That's her Latino heat. She's gonna get her Latino heat. She's gonna go after Liv.
It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens when she comes.
You saw what Braun Breaker did to Ricochet? That's what Rhea's gonna do to Liv.
It's gonna be worse than that. That's just gonna be a straight slaughter. That's gonna be a Goldberg. That's gonna be her coming in, spearing Liv, putting her in the jackhammer, and that's it.
Speaking of that, so that scene with Braun and Ricochet, where Braun put Ricochet through the windshield of a vehicle. I wonder if they cleared that
River.
With. I wonder if they cleared that with Daddy Punk before they did that, because you know how Punk feels about real glass.
It's real glass, yeah. It's sugar glass.
Of course, bro. You know they didn't put him through a goddamn real windshield.
Yeah. But it'll definitely be interesting to see what happened. Hoping we maybe get some surprises at Clash of the Castle. If not, definitely looking forward to NXT Tuesday night to see what happens with that battle, that 25-man battle royal. And and that's it. I mean, other than that, I mean, there really wasn't much else like news-wise that's coming out. I mean, obviously, again, there are a few people that have contracts coming up, but they're a little forlong to determine what's really going to happen. I think the next person that has the next main person that has a contract coming up is Gable, but they haven't said whether he's re-signed yet or not. But obviously, we'll find out on Saturday what happens with that. So,
yep, depending on the outcome of that match.
But yeah, other than that, guys, that is going to wrap up another episode, possibly the final episode of the Heel Turn podcast. If we don't get if we don't get canceled. But
that's
yeah,
what you do when you do Heel Turn, right?
Yeah, exactly. We got to listen. We have to say the shit that people are afraid to say. That's basically it. Win, lose, or draw. We're saying what's on the mind of every wrestling fan. It's not something that's unknown. It's stuff that's talked about within communities, and people have made posts about it and things like that. So we're not saying anything that already hasn't been heard.
And the shit ain't scripted. It's off the dome.
So
we're all over the place.
Anything you want to add before we sign off, good sir?
No, sir. We are good to go.
All right, well, guys, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram. Make sure you give us a follow on Spotify, and obviously make sure you give us a follow on YouTube if you want to watch the video version, Spotify for the audio, and then also Instagram. We're always posting some funny stories and interesting wrestling stuff. And so guys, as always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and all that other good stuff. And remember, when you guys are heel turn, you are heel turn for
life.
All right, guys, see you on the next episode